A Game Archivist production.
Hi guys, it's Archivist here, coming at you with another vlog, and today I wanted to talk about something that links in with a story I covered in one of my Arc News episodes. And the story I'm referring to is the fact that the Thief XP system was actually removed as a result of fan feedback. And when I first saw this story, I was actually really happy and optimistic about it, because what it showed me was that fans could actually make a difference in a franchise they cared about. If you think about systems like SimCity, for example, that took a very different direction, but the developers didn't really listen to what people were saying, and they created something that people didn't really want, or something that was very different from what people were used to and had come to expect. But here, I think it's Eidos who make Thief. They've actually listened to what the fans said. It was quite a small thing to actually complain about from a fan's point of view, but I can completely understand where they were coming from on it. And they actually listened to it, and it was excellent. But then in the comments section, I scrolled down and I saw a few people, the minority admittedly, saying, "Oh look, fans, they'll complain and they'll get whatever they want, or they'll just shout nothing about." And a while ago, I might have actually agreed with that. I might have thought, well, oh look, it's just fans just yelling at developers, feeling entitled. But no, really, you're the consumer. It's your right to get the best from a product that you want. Get the product you are expecting to purchase. And with a game, it's quite ambiguous. You know, you need to make sure you're getting what you want. The developers, the designers, and the producers, they're going to try and dupe you, okay? They're going to try and convince you they've got the best product. They'll sell a product they don't even have sometimes. Although I respect Peter Molyneux, I think he's a very interesting man. He does tend to lie about things, and a lot of people have actually been annoyed about the fact that he's, especially in the case of the Fable series, he's actually he's outright lied about things. He said things will happen and they've not happened, or he's bigged up things that are basically very simple. I remember he was really going on about that. Taking people by the hand and leading them is basically just a grope feature. But anyway, what I'm saying is that you are completely within your rights, and you should be able to complain about a game, no matter what that game is. No game should be immune. You're the consumer. It is your right to get the best product you can possibly get. And there's an example, and this is probably a bigger one, that I actually complained about and got a bit of negative feedback from some of my friends with. And that was GTA Online, okay? Now, I will be the first person to say GTA, the single player experience, was absolutely stellar. It was excellent. It was a great game. In fact, if Rockstar had said they were giving an only single player experience, I would have been satisfied with it. It would have been fine. But they did promise us, 2 weeks later, I believe, 2 weeks, they promised us they'd give us a complete online experience. They showed us a trailer on it. It was part of the sales pitch. You know, we were going into a contract where this was expected. And then, sadly, Rockstar weren't able to provide what they'd promised because their servers weren't able to deal with the load. And a lot of people were saying, oh, what do you expect? Millions of people logging on at once. What do you expect? Leave Rockstar alone. And yeah, of course, there are explanations, but it's really an excuse. They didn't say this would happen. They presumably, well, most people, such as I presumed, that those 2 weeks were put there so that they could get the infrastructure together that would actually prevent things like this happening. And I complained about that, and people said, oh, why can't you be happy? And they were kind of almost overwhelmed by the fact that the game was so excellent, they thought it was impeachable. And there's someone else who you may be familiar with who was even a greater victim of this. I think her name, she works for GameSpot, Carolyn, Petit, I think. She made a complaint in her review about the fact that the game was, GTA was sexist. And I mean, I personally, if I was going to review the game, I wouldn't have included that, but she was right. She justified her opinion and she was reasoned about it, and some of the response she got on a much too greater level, because you can expect some trolls, but it was too much, you know. And there wasn't even a petition to get a fight, but she was complaining, and she should complain, because she, like the rest of us, is a consumer, and a consumer must fight to get the best product they can. The designers, the developers, the producers, they aren't on your side, okay? They're on their side, the side that makes money. And they will come across, they will attempt to sympathise with you and empathise with you in order to make you think that they're that you're in some kind of positive relationship with them, but you're not in a positive relationship with them. If it's a relationship, it's a business relationship. There is no emotion. You shouldn't treat them as if they make a decision you don't like, you're not someone to forgive them, okay? You simply disagree with them and you move on. I've heard some people say they won't be getting an Xbox One, for example, because they haven't forgiven Microsoft for treating their customers badly. Now, I do think they made the wrong decision. I'm not defending Microsoft rather in that sense, but I'm saying forgive them. They're not your girlfriend who's cheated on you. They're a business, and they were making a business decision that they thought would yield them a certain amount of money, which failed. It failed in the end because people voted with their wallets, the most effective method, by the way, and pre-order sales were embarrassingly low compared to the PlayStation 4, and they had to change. And I heard of some people, I'd say this again is the minority, right? Saying that people complained at them, complain. It's feedback, it's constructive feedback. Sure, there are some people who will complain in a way that's quite embarrassing to us as gamers, that, they'll send death threats, which they obviously can't go through with, and it's all just a bit of a joke, really. But, the fact that people complained it's a good thing. You should always fight for the best product you can get, because the designers, I keep saying this, but the designers, developers, producers, they will sell you what they think they can get away with charging you, not what they want best for you. And I know that sounds harsh, and I'm not trying to be negative about it. I'm sure there are loads of you out there who just know this, and you buy the product that you think's best for you, you don't purchase from the company that you think loves you the most. But anyway, I actually used to be different, I admit. I used to think people complain too much. But when you really think about it, you have to detach yourself from the company. You have to detach yourself from Microsoft or Sony. They are trying to play you. Sony, for example, at the E3 conference, they managed to completely sweep the fact that you now have to pay for PlayStation Network under the rug by quickly talking about the DRM feature, and they were saying it, and everyone was cheering, and they really whipped them up. But they were playing them, they were trying to pretend we care about you, and we aren't going to start implementing this DRM system. If they thought they could get away with that system, they would do it. Don't think they wouldn't, especially if there was no competition. If they had nothing to lose from doing it, they would do it. And they try to create the sense that they are, somehow your friend, and you have to resist that. But don't hate them. I'm not saying hate them. I'm just saying be realistic about their position in comparison to you. They're not your friend. You could think of them as a business partner. They are selling to you and you are buying from them, and you want to make sure you get the best deal possible. Okay, so that concludes this vlog for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Send me some feedback if you want to complain at me. If I said you couldn't complain, that would make me a bit of a hypocrite, wouldn't it? But anyway, as always, people, thanks very much for watching, and see you next time.